Hello, my name is Reza and welcome to this webinar where we'll be talking about our latest version of Inspiration Maps Generator, which is a free add-on tool to Inspiration 11 and Inspiration RD, our Windows and cloud-based solution. So Inspiration, if you've not come across it before, is a visual thinking tool. And what that means is it allows users to be able to capture, organize, synthesize and model their thinking in a graphical format. And so today we'll be working with Inspiration. So if you've not seen it before, hopefully you'll get a good understanding in terms of how this application works. Now it's a tool that can be used by anyone. It's a tool that's been around for over 37 years, so it's got a long pedigree. It's particularly powerful for those users with neurodifferences and cognitive challenges and is used in education, the workplace, and personally. So in terms of the traits, those challenges, anxiety is one particular area where Inspiration can help because it can help to break down those tasks into manageable chunks and help the person feel more in control. For those users with focus and concentration issue, Inspiration is on purposely designed to be able to quickly enable a user to get that information down onto the screen as quickly as possible. So they're productive when they're focused. And also it just makes it much more of an engaging kinesthetic experience. Organizational challenges, Inspiration is a natural tool for that, particularly for those non-linear creative thinkers. It's designed to work in a way and be intuitive to how they naturally try to organize and structure their thinking in a not one-dimensional way, in a much more 2D environment. Working memory and processing challenges, an area which Inspiration excels in, as well as memory retention as well, particularly when you combine verbal cues such as keywords with visual cues such as images, symbols, colors, for example. It provides a very powerful combination to help in terms of the processing of memory of information and to move that information into your long-term memory as well as the conceptual understanding. Now, normally within a webinar, we will start from scratch or from one of our templates, for example, where what we're doing is mapping out our initial ideas. But you may have existing information that you want to turn into an Inspiration document. It might be a Word document, it might be a PowerPoint document, it could be information held in an Excel spreadsheet. And with our latest version on what we're launching is being able to process the results from AI chatbots such as Copilot, ChatGPT, and Gemini. So why might you do that, for example? Well, for a lot of our users, they describe themselves as being non-linear creative thinkers. And so traditionally, Word documents and PowerPoint documents, for example, are linear, they're one-dimensional. And they feel constrained by that. That's not how they process information or how they think. They like to think and see the whole big picture, which they might have struggled with when looking at a page of notes in a Word document, for example. And that's the same with AI chatbots. The results are presented in a linear way. You can't easily see how different concepts connect to one another. Again, the big picture. So this is where Inspiration Maps Generator comes in. And this is an app which you can install onto a Windows device, or it's available online via a web browser. Now, why use Inspiration Maps Generator? There are various different benefits. It's perfect, as I said, for those users that prefer to see the big picture. They like to see the whole, how different ideas and concepts connect to one another and the impact, the consequences, the influences that they have on one another. They start big and then they work at a granular level. It's ideal for those users who prefer to process and synthesize information in a non-linear, creative way. And so what they can do is take information that's presented in a linear, one-dimensional way and transform it into a way in which they're much more productive with, they're much more effective with. They can remember that information in a better way. And it also allows them, rather than starting from a blank page and having to copy and paste or type in, to be able to create a starter document from existing resources, and then to be able to add to it, to be able to process that information and to be a catalyst for that ideation and for the writing process. So with Inspiration Maps Generator, we've had different iterations since it was launched. So version 1, we launched with support for Word and PowerPoint documents. Then version 2, we added support for Excel files, where information is just presented as a list or in a simple table. And today the main focus is on version 3, which has just been launched, which is for where you might use a generative AI chat bot like ChatGPT, Copilot, and Gemini. You've got the results. You want to get that into Inspiration to be able to process. Now, what I'm going to do to get into the whole context is I'm going to do a demonstration of importing a Word document. Two examples. One, a simple Word document. Another one, which has been generated through a piece of assistive technology. And that was one of the other reasons for Maps Generator. It's a glue. It allows information exported from, say, another app, Word, but also common other assistive technology. And to be able to, that exports into Word, be able to take that into Inspiration. So we'll show you Word first, and then we'll look at what you're here today to look at is how you can then use chatbot AIs and the results from that. Okay, so let's open up a document first. I'm going to open up a document so you can see it before I import it in. So we've got a document here. So the all important bit, and to help Inspiration Maps Generator to understand what are the key concepts and how they connect to one another of main ideas and supporting ideas, is the use of style headings. So this document here has got that. It's got a title, it's got headings 1, 2, 3, etc. to show the relationships between main ideas and supporting ideas. But also, as well as an outline, it's also got images, it's got paragraphs of text to go more into the detail. Now, I know this document is ready to be imported in because if I go into View and go into Navigation Pane, turn it on, I can see a nice, neat outline there for me. So this is now nicely structured and presents the information in the right way that Inspiration Maps Generator can import that in. Okay, I'm going to close that now, and I'm then going to open up Maps Generator. So I'm just going to launch the application. Spare a second. Here we go. So here we've got it, and this is the latest version, which has just been released. Now there are two tabs to this. We'll start off with the upload file section, and then we'll look at the paste XML section. So the upload file is if you've got a Word, PowerPoint, or Excel document. So if I take a Word document, and I'm going to take that document I've just opened up so you can see it. Now you've got the option whether you want to have links created or not. So you can choose to have it without it if you want to organize it yourself. So I'm going to choose with, keep it at the default. And I'm then going to name the file. So a simple 3-step process. Just generate file, do save, do yes, and it'll automatically create that file. I'm just going to go to here and open up that file. Here we are. So what it will do is now automatically create a document, an inspiration document, which I can then open up in Inspiration 11 or Inspiration Maps or Inspiration RD. So with Inspiration, there is an Arrange tool. You can choose this at any point in time, at the beginning, at the end, midpoint. Keep on changing it if you want to look at information in different ways. And so I'm going to go for a tree. But if I go to more, there are lots of different options as to how you want Inspiration to do the heavy lifting in terms of tidying it up. Just going to do OK. Now, if I wanted to make sure that it was in the order in which the document is, if I go to more, click on Arrange in Outline Order. This will ensure that when the diagram is shown and arranged, it will be in the order in which it was sequenced in the Word document, as you can see here. So how the information is processed is that any information, headings and subheadings, will be the keyword or phrase that will populate the symbol to represent that key concept or subtopic. The relationships between the headings and the subheadings is what determines the link if I choose that as an option. So immediately I can see the connections between the main ideas and supporting ideas. I can facilitate that by using the carousel of different themes. I tend to go for this one. So immediately it will add those color cues. So immediately I can see patterns, relationships, and groups. Plus, it makes it much more engaging to look at. And so I've now got this document within here. But obviously in that Word document, there were paragraphs of text and images. So what's happened to that? Well, they go into the notes section. Now, if I go into the outline view, you can see that structure that you saw in Word is represented here. If I want to see all of the content that was brought in, go to Notes, go to Show All, and I can see all of the text and images have been brought in, and they are shown as notes. So if I take a look at this, and if you're not familiar with this, the outline view and the diagram view of Inspiration are in sync, not just with the content, so what you do in one affects the other, but also the navigation as well. So if I click on here and go to here, it will automatically go to that section of the diagram as you got here, so it's selected it, and I can open it up. So I don't have to hunt for each section within it. And as you can see, all of the notes, the paragraphs, and images are now imported into the notes. So it's neatly tucked away when I don't need to focus on it. But when I do, I can expand, have a look, take a look, maybe open up different sections to compare, move things around, etc. So this may be a better way in which I can process information in this non-linear way. I can see all of the connections and aid me to a better understanding. It gives me a nice single-page summary of all of the ideas contained within the document, as well as how they're connected to one another. I can see the big picture. But within the outline view, again, I can see it in the outline in a linear format and continue to work within here because this is a full word processor. It can do with 5,000 words, 10,000 words. We've got professional writers that have got 100,000 words using this outline view. And perhaps I've been given a reading list or actions from a meeting, for example, and I need to expand on this. So as I pick a topic, I can add a topic and then add a supporting idea. And that theming will continue because I've turned that on. So again, that auto colorization appears there, which reduces procrastination around spending too much time on the beautifying and the task in hand, but quickly allows for that coloring in for engagement, but also vitally to support the visual thinking process. So that's a Word document. Now I'm going to show another example. So I'm just going to close this one and go to another document. So part of the reason Inspiration Maps Generator was created was for users with other assistive tech that they might be using. So they might use that initially to get information, and then they want to use Inspiration to help organize, structure it, synthesize the information, but continue with the writing process. So one tool is Glean, which is recommended for both education and the workplace. It's used, say, for example, where someone struggles to listen and take notes at the same time. So it will break that process down. They can listen, use tools within Glean to be able to annotate specific important information or bits that they don't understand, but also they can import in slides, they can add their notes. So it's a great note-taking tool. But they want to, once they're finished with it, they want to take those notes and take that into Inspiration. So we've got a example export from Glean, as we've got here. And so we've got images, which were the slides that were imported in. We've got the headings. We've got the notes as paragraphs, for example, all contained within this Word document. Naturally, with Glean, it's highly accessible in terms of its export, so it does include style headings. And so this Inspiration Maps Generator is optimized to take in the files from Glean, but also other tools such as ProStudy as well, it will take in. So obviously I can see the outline there. Let's close that. We use the Inspiration Maps Generator. Find that document. Name that file. Generate. Save. Okay, let's open up that file, which is Glean. And there we have it. So each one of those slides has been created. And so we can use the Arrange tool. Just going to tidy it up a bit using the web as an arrangement and apply a theme. Go with a different theme this time. And just like in that previous example, we can then continue to work with it. If I go to the outline view, go to View, Notes, Show, you can see all of the images and notes have been imported in. If I want to take a look at this one, just highlight that, go to Diagram View, it will automatically highlight it here, and I can see the notes as well as the images there. And just like previously, this provides me with a starter document. Perhaps I've been given extra reading or research I need to do, actions, etc. And I can then build on this map, for example, as part of my note-taking and writing process. Okay, so that's Word. So that was really the essence of what Inspiration Maps Generator was created for. So we got Word. You can do something similar with PowerPoint files as well. As long as they're styled correctly, it will import it in. With Excel, for example, if you've got a simple list of keywords that you want to create a map from, it might be an export from another application. You can import that in and it will generate symbols of all of those different ideas and concepts, for example. But the main purpose of this webinar was to talk about generative AI chatbots and how you can utilize that. And so, as I said earlier, ChatGPT, Copilot, and Gemini are three of the chatbots that we've optimized this tool for. And I'm going to show you in action with Copilot. So it is a preference as to which one you tend to use. I tend to go for Copilot, which is baked in within Edge itself and is obviously available within the Office suite as well. Gemini is part of the Google suite, and ChatGPT, obviously there's a free version as well as a paid version that you can subscribe to. So with these tools, they're obviously being used more and more. It's becoming more and more popular. And it is a great way, if you use it in the right way, it's a great research tool and a great tool as a catalyst for ideation and for helping you to create that initial structure for organizing your thinking and moving into the writing process. Most importantly, it does employ critical thinking skills, particularly in terms of how you phrase your questions for those prompts and how you want the results to be returned so that it's in a meaningful way that you can work with it. So hopefully with this demonstration, what we'll show is how you can use these chatbots to identify key concepts, how it's a catalyst for ideation, and also how it also, with the results, helps to structure thinking as well. So we're going to pose a question to Copilot, get the results, bring that into Inspiration Maps Generator, and then you can see then the output and then how you might then work with it. And this is the question that we're going to use. Generate an XML file from a mind map on the topic of the benefits of using mind mapping techniques. For any notes for a topic, use a note tag. So with all of these chatbots, it is a very similar phrasing that you can use, and it's a similar question that can be easily adapted for different contexts. So I'm just going to copy that. So that's the question. I'm going to go into Copilot. I'm going to open up in a different browser. So I'm just going to bring that across to here. I'm going to ask the question. So I'm just going to paste that in. So I've got my result here and in the file that I requested. So I'm just going to copy and paste that in. Copy. Go to Inspiration Maps Generator. Now this time, rather than uploading, I'm going to go to Paste XML. Now it's again a three-step process. If I click here, it does give me a prompt as the type, how you might phrase your question. So go to here, paste that in. Again, I've got that option of creating the link or not. I'm just going to keep it with. And generate file. Do OK. Right. So let's go back and open up that file. There we are. So it's opened up. Again, use the arrange tool to rearrange it. We'll just choose a different option so you can see. I'm going to go right, size by level, arrange in outline order, do OK, brings it in there. So as you can see, lots of different options. I'm going to apply a theme, which I'm going to do here. And I am going to show you where the notes are. So normally with Inspiration, when we're using chatbots, for example, because they're all slightly different, there are a couple of things that you can just delete off. We just keep it there to keep it as universal as possible. Now I'm going to apply the theme again, and you can now see those color cues that have been added in. So all of the notes are now tucked in within here. So it will create a note where we've asked it for a B. If the response is too long, it will give a brief summary, just a few lines at the beginning, and then tuck the rest of it in a note as well. So this just shows you how quickly you can get the linear response from a chatbot, use Inspiration Maps Generator, paste that in, and now you can work in a non-linear, creative way within Inspiration using that information. It provides a ready structure now to help you in terms of your ideation. These prompts now are those sort of catalysts to get you going, so you can then use the tools within Inspiration to start working with, such as the rapid fire tool, for example. And hopefully what this will then do is, again, just like our starter templates within Inspiration, a way of getting productive, moving forward, getting over that blank page syndrome as well. So this is one example. I'm going to show you another example as well. So I'm just going to close down this file. And we're going to use Copilot again, but rather than just putting a question in, we're going to put a question, but against a document that we're going to use. So go back to Copilot. Now, do you remember that Le Mans document that I uploaded? Or, yeah, uploaded in Inspiration Maps Generator, processed, for example, and then basically pulled in the whole content within it. What I could do is get Copilot to essentially just summarize an outline for me, because perhaps that's what I want to do. So create a mind map in an XML file format, summarizing the key concepts in this document. Okay, I'm going to go back to that Le Mans document that you saw earlier. It will upload it. And then go. So it's going to read that document. Again, it will produce a file that I can use. So it's distilling it down to its key concepts. I'm going to copy it. Oh, keeps on jumping in Copilot. Let me just do it from the bottom. Might be easier. There we go. Copy. I'm going to take that existing one out, paste that in. Just going to call this document outline for Le Mans. Generate file. Do save. Do OK. Then let's go back. Close that now. Let's go back to my files. There we are. So it's opened up that document. Let's put it into a tree just so you can see the structure. Delete these first two. Actually, I'll zoom in a bit so you see what I'm doing. Just delete these first two because it just creates these so that there's a consistency between the different chat box. So as you can see, I've got all of my key concepts now identified within that document, and you can see the relationships between them. And then again, to help me, I'll just put the themes feature on. And so it produces that nice structure for me to continue that ideation and to move into the writing process. And what it does, if I go back to the original document file I was showing, let's just close that, move to this one. So what it's doing is, obviously you could see that because of the way that I phrased the question, it's identified the key concepts within the document. So it's a nice way of signposting that within the document. Perhaps you'd missed it if you were reading through it, if you had challenges with processing text, or so again, that can help with that. And as I said, and keep on saying, it's a great prompt then for that whole ideation process, you know, getting over that blank page syndrome, getting those ideas flowing, and it provides that natural structure for you to ideate within. So that's as much as I was going to show you with this. We are super excited about this new release of Inspiration Maps Generator because it allows you now to use these chatbots in a very meaningful and responsible way in terms of how you can use it to support learning, research, work, for example. There's lots of different applications for this. So thank you for your time, and look forward to seeing you at other webinars that we're hosting and doing around the use of inspiration. So thank you.